Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Eric from EGOTSEC. One of the issues that I have with using an external cooler is the fact that you need to remove your case before you can actually put it on the phone. So if you spent your hard-earned money on one of these phones, of course you want it to be always protected. But if you're going to be doing long gaming sessions and you need to attach a Fun Cooler Pro 1 or the Fun Cooler Pro 2, then you need to go without a case. But luckily for us, Xiaomi actually thought ahead and actually came up with the official protective bumper case for the Black Shark 4 Pro. And this is the case that I'm going to be reviewing on the channel today. So let's find out what makes this case special. So I'll just set the phone down for now and let's open up the case. And here's the case, guys. Seems to be pretty solid. There is a bit of bend to it, and I think this is what makes it special, guys. Similar to the Fun Cooler Pro 1 and the Fun Cooler Pro 2, this case actually comes with a rubber cooling pad, so in order to use it, you have to remove this protective film. Kind of hard to remove it, guys. Stuck on there, really tight. Okay, it's off. So the texture is very similar to what you get on the Fun Cooler Pro 1 and Fun Cooler Pro 2. So let me get those coolers out for you guys right now. Okay guys, so here are the coolers. So I've got the Fun Cooler Pro 1 over here, and I've got the Fun Cooler Pro 2 over here. And if you look at the back, you've got the rubber cooling mat or the rubber cooling pad. So this is what gets cold and makes contact with the back of the phone. So let's say you're using the case that came with the phone. This is the free case that came in the box. So if you attach the cooler to the phone like this, or if you attach the cooler with the case, then it's not going to make contact with the back of the phone and the cooling will not be as efficient. But with this case, since there is a cooling pad right in the center and then the rubber cooling pad here as well, if you attach the cooler, it should transmit the cooling effect right through to the back of the case. So now you've got a case that protects the phone and you can use the cooler at the same time. Okay, and that's how it's going to look on the phone. It looks pretty cool, guys. If you'd notice, there is no protection on the sides, on the right side or on the left side. So on the bottom, you've got cutouts for the headphone jack, a cutout for the USB-C port, and a cutout for the speaker. And on the top, again, you've got a cutout for the microphone and the top speaker. So now you've got a case that protects your phone and lets you use the cooler at the same time. So you don't have to go caseless, or you don't have to go without a case if you want to do some serious gaming, guys. But does putting on the case actually keep the cooling effect from these coolers? So I'll be running a couple of tests. I'll just be running 3D Mark stress test, or the 3D Mark Wildlife stress test, to see whether putting this case on will actually affect the cooling that the coolers can do. So I'll run the 3D Mark Wildlife stress test once without the case and without the coolers, and that will serve as my baseline. Then I'll repeat it with the Fun Cooler Pro 1, then the Fun Cooler Pro 2, and then I'll attach the case and do the same test with the Fun Cooler Pro 1 and the Fun Cooler Pro 2. So we'll know if the cooling effect is the same with or without the case. So with that said, let me open up 3D Mark and let's get this test started. So for my baseline, I'm removing the case again, guys. Alright guys, starting the baseline test in 3, 2, 1. Alright guys, so baseline test is done. Best loop score 5802, lowest loop 5470. Stability 94.3, battery went down from 97 to 79, and temperature started off at 32 and maxed out at 57. So now I'll let the phone cool down and I'll redo the test with the Fun Cooler Pro 1. So let's start 3D Mark, and I've attached the Fun Cooler Pro 1, guys. Wildlife stress test in 3, 2, 1. Alright guys, test with the Fun Cooler Pro 1 is done. I'll discuss the scores later, but I'll let the phone cool down and I'll run the test with the Fun Cooler Pro 2. Alright guys, so the Fun Cooler Pro 2 is attached. So let's go ahead and run 3D Mark. Alright guys, third test with the Fun Cooler Pro 2 is done. Let's just take a quick peek at the temperature. Actually much lower, 43 degrees. So I'll show you guys the results at the end of the video so we can have a proper comparison. I think I might need to charge up the phone a little bit and let it cool down as well. So hang on guys.
A few moments later.
Alright guys, charge up the phone a bit and let it cool down. So it's around 29.5 now. So I'll go ahead and put the case on. Case is on guys, you've got the cooling pad right there, so that means your cooler should be attached to the center guys. So it doesn't seem to be hitting the power button, so we're good in that front guys. And volume buttons are clear as well, so let's attach the USB cable and let's turn on the cooler. There you go guys. So let's run the 3D Mark Wildlife stress test with the Fun Cooler Pro attached to the Black Shark protective case. So let's start the test in 3, 2, 1. Alright guys, so test with the case is done. Let's see the temperatures. Actually that's pretty good guys. On the first test with just the cooler, I maxed out at 48 degrees, but this time it's only 42. So I guess the case is doing its job and transmitting the cold generated by the cooler directly into the back of the phone. Okay, so that's the test done with the Fun Cooler 1. Let's turn it off. And I'll attach the Fun Cooler Pro 2. Kind of interested in measuring the temperatures in this one. Oh, it's pretty cold guys. And on the back of the cooler itself, 27.3. So it's almost the same temperature from the back of the cooler itself and the back of the case. Pretty impressive guys. So let's see how the Fun Cooler Pro 2 will fare with the case. So the Fun Cooler Pro 2 is attached. It's not making contact with the volume buttons or the power button, so we're good. Alright guys, so phone is cooled down. Let's go ahead and run 3D Mark again. So for the fifth and final test, the Fun Cooler Pro 2 with the case attached. So let's start the test in 3, 2, 1. Alright guys, so the test is done. I've got some pretty interesting results here. The lowest temperature from all the tests was actually the Fun Cooler Pro 1 attached to the case, and it only hit the maximum temperature 44 degrees Celsius. Now without the cooler, it got extremely hot at 57 degrees. With just the Pro Cooler 1, it hit 48, and with the Pro Cooler 2, it hit 45. So when we add the case to the equation, the Fun Cooler Pro 1 with the case, it hit 44 degrees, and the Fun Cooler Pro 2 with the case hit 47. But in terms of the stability, the lowest temperature resulted in the best stability at 99.4%, and that is with just the Fun Cooler Pro 2 without putting on the case. So based on the results that I got, I can definitely recommend this case because not only do you have protection for the phone, but you can actually attach the cooler. So if you have the Fun Cooler Pro 1, this will work. And if you have the Fun Cooler Pro 2, this will also work because you've got this pretty cool cooling plate in the middle. So that actually transmits the cold generated by these phone coolers. So now I don't have to worry about going without a case if I decide to attach an external cooler for extended gaming sessions. So if you guys are interested in getting this protective case, please make use of the affiliate links I've added on the video description. This will actually go a long way in supporting the channel. So that's it for my review of this case guys. Let me know if this is something that you want to get. But until then, a sub would be massively appreciated. Please like and subscribe and hit that bell icon notification, and see you all on the next one.